Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Kim with K Montez Art Studio, and I have another fun project to start. So I was at Michael's the other day and I was looking for nothing. I was actually looking for nothing, just there to kind of find inspiration and look at like fun things and licensed art, which is always fun to look at. And I landed in the art section, of course, the painting section, and I reminded myself that I'm on a shopping freeze for art supplies and things like that. So I just looked around. But then I saw that there was a clearance section, and that's where I bought this. So on the back it says $5. I was like, oh, okay, I can afford that piece of wood. It's nice, it's framed, it has a hook, it has like nice things. And I bought this, and I also bought, remember this letter R? So I got these two, assuming that the letter R would be $3 and assuming that this would be $5. So I was like, oh, that's not too bad. I get to the register and I got a big deal. So both of these together were $2.90, I think $2 and less than 90 cents. It was like $2.30 something cents. So basically each of these were about $1. I know the letter R was about 73 cents, so whatever was remaining was the price of this, and I was super ecstatic to not have spent more than I thought I was. So long story short, I'm gonna continue painting things for my baby room, and this is going to be a nice little landscape that is going to resemble some of, oops, that's really loud. So this is going to resemble some of this side mountain feature, and I still have my acrylic paint left over and I don't want to let it dry out. So let's jump into it. Alright, so here's what my palette looks like. Still looking good. Some of the brown, unfortunately, has bled over to the yellow. Which is fine because I'm going to be using these neutral colors, but I have just enough paint to at least get started, and then if I run out I can save that for the next session. So I'm going to jump into this. And if you're wondering what's my inspiration, I think I'm just going to go off the top of my head. I kind of have an idea, but I am just going to wing it because I'm in the painting mode and I don't want to lose it. The one thing about this board is that it's not completely sanded, but I kind of like the texture, so I'm just gonna let it be a part of the texture. I'm deciding if I even want to like completely saturate it with paint, but let's just get into it and see what happens. One color I do need to add is green. So I just added my Hooker's Green Deep Hue Permanence. That's a long name. And I'm good on all the other colors. I actually think I added the wrong green. I needed the sap green. It's okay. But the Hooker's Green was drying out anyway, so it worked out. A lot of these paints are actually kind of dry, so I'm gonna grab my spritzer. And it's not like terribly dry, but I don't want it to be too goopy. actually might need more brushes because this is a larger piece. So at this point of the painting, I decided to grab my boar hair brushes. They're a thicker type of brush that allows you to almost saturate the canvas in any way. So this brush is much more rough and coarse, which I love to use to kind of create texture. And because the board was very textured already, these brushes help to create a larger amount of saturation within the board, and you can immediately see that as soon as I started adding some of those colors. Another reason that I decided to move on to these types of brushes is because I realized that the board, the wooden board, was again very textured and it would damage my new brushes. And I didn't want to risk that chance of ruining a brand new set of brushes that I was very excited to use. So I went forward with my boar hair brushes, and that's what they're meant for rougher surfaces and being able to create some texture. I also loved how the brush helped you to create a smoother blend between each of the layers. Because I was using a lot of green, I was able to blend a little bit easier and make things much more softer, which was the ultimate goal, was to make this a softer landscape and less rigid. And you can see here that I'm blending some of the greens, allowing it to almost create an ombre effect. So while working on this painting, I was so focused and so entertained by working with these two different mediums being the brushes and the wooden panel, that I completely forgot to check back in. So hence the voiceover. I really love this texture. I should have went back to get more of these wooden panels at Michael's, but I thought that the edges were very specific and I didn't want to kind of be a hoarder and get all these boards with these specific edges and kind of be stuck making a series that I wasn't, intending to create. So again, thinking about my spending freeze, I limited myself to just this one and I was okay with that. Yeah, the spending freeze is really sucky and I really have been thinking about getting a couple of things, but I don't need them. Again, I am switching studios in the next couple weeks, and I don't need another thing. I actually have to go through all of my art supplies and make sure that I have the things that I need and get rid of things that I don't. And the things that I am getting rid of won't go to waste. They'll actually be used in my art club and my after school club that I work with. So that's the bonus, is that some of the kids get to use my handed down art supplies, which they always love. They love painting, they love making messes, and I love having free space. So, win-win situation. So, what I really loved about this particular painting is the soft ambiance, atmospheric feeling that it was giving. And I was ultimately inspired by how I created those mountains in the letter R. If you did not see that video, definitely check it out. Those mountains were very subtle in the background, and they were meant to be sort of a background element. But I think they were the one piece that was the one piece that I really, loved, and it stood out to me. So I wanted to recreate that in a larger format. However, when I was finished painting, I did feel that things were just a little bit too flat for my liking. I usually like a lot of dimension, a lot of color, and a lot of layers. And I had to remember this is for a baby room, and I wanted to give it just a little bit more. So I decided to go in and add some of these grass blades and give it a little bit more dimension. Again, keeping it subtle, but just adding just a couple things. And this is when I also realized that after getting the boar hair brush paint on there, that's when I was able to use the softer brush. So if you are interested in painting wood, this might be a good method if you're not sanding it or priming it or doing anything, using a boar hair brush and moving into the softer brushes will most likely be the best order of operations. I am complete. That actually took a little bit faster than I expected, but I love this technique that I used. I use my boar hair brushes that are kind of messy and dirty. I think I'm going to get rid of this palette, but first I'm going to transfer some of this paint to a page so I'm not wasting paint. But look how cute. It's very simple, very warm and cozy. So I hope you enjoy this video and enjoyed the different style of canvas. I really enjoyed playing around with these brushes and trying a new painting technique. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.